It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey folks, today we are taking a look at Code of Nine. Code of Nine, each player is an automaton that wakes up hundreds of years after humanity has vanished, and you don't know what to do with yourself. You still want to please, and so it doesn't make any sense. It's basically, that means worker placement, and you don't know what your secret objective is, and so you are going to spend the game trying to figure out how you actually score. I'm going to give you a brief overview of how the game works, then we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think of Code of Nine. To set up the game, you are going to give every player one of these player boards. You are going to pick what side of the board you're going to play on. This is the easy side with the yellow 1 here. And then the other side is a difficult side with a red 1 right there. I'm going to set the game up with the easy side up for now. Then you are going to set up all of these tokens on their various spots on the board, which I'll do in a moment here. And then you're going to shuffle up these cards, and every player is going to get 2 of the cards. The objective of the game is to get the most victory points, and you're going to be accomplishing that by playing over 5 rounds and trying to gather these tokens, complete certain assignments on the board, and score based on these cards, which are secret except the ones you have yourself. Every player is going to have 2 of these cards. They're going to place them in front of them. One goes on the shoal here, and one goes on the abyss. The difference is the abyss is harder to look at by other players, and so you are going to, at the beginning of the game, once you get your 2, you'll look at them, you'll put them down, and they do specific things like tell you the player who has that token loses 50 points. Every book gains 2 victory points. All of those tokens lose 1 victory point. They basically tell you how you score. All the points from the snakes are negative, things like that. And so everybody gets 2, you choose where they go. In this case, I'm going to be showing you a game with 3 players, which means you play with a ghost player, just so there's more cards in play. You put 2 cards over there, and players in-game will be able to spend actions to take a look at the ones over there. You just, it's a non-existent player, you skip that turn. The first player starts with 0 will, which is tracked here on the little track on the player board. And the second and third player start with 1 in this case. And so, actually let's put third player over here. That'll be the empty one. And then everybody gets 2, they look at them, they choose where they go, here and here. Okay, so everybody does that. The 2 for the dummy player, no one looks at those. And then you are ready to go. The game is a worker placement game in which you are going to be using your 3 workers to take actions on the board, which are going to let you gather resources, are going to let you peek at other cards, things like that. The actions available to you are dependent on the round which it is. And so in round 1, you can do any of these actions here. In round 2, you'll be able to take the round 2 and the round 1 actions, and so on. Here's some of the actions you can take a little closer up. Basically, each player has 3 workers. On your turn, you're going to place 1. Everybody will place 1, then a second, then the last. If you place your worker here, you would get 3 of these tokens. If you place your worker here, it's going to cost you 1 will, and you're going to get 1 of the book tokens. These say 1 victory point. These say none, but obviously that'll be modified by all the cards in play. Here, the Quarry of Wills. You are going to be able to place in a few different places. Here you get 3 will, here you get 2. Up here at the clock tower, if you play there, you get the token here for start player, and you may return any one of the 3 tokens back to the center. You have some spaces here that are attack spaces, these red spaces, and so you can do that and mess with other people. You can go here, get a dragon. You can go up here and defend yourself from the red spaces. And so that's basically how the board works, and you can see there's a lot of different actions over the 5 rounds of the game. Alright, so just to give you a brief game flow example here, this player, let's say I've already looked at these, this is me, it says the number, the snakes of players with exactly 1 gain 3 victory points. Okay. And this one says, if there's one player with the least amount of these, then that player cannot win the game. That's a pretty powerful card, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that one in my abyss, hiding it a little more, and then I'll put the other one in the shoal. Let me move this up here a little bit. Alright, I start with no willpower, and then on my turn, I am going to, because I know this card, that if there's one player with the least that can't possibly win, then I'm going to go here, and I'll grab 3 of these. Then this player is going to go, they'll know some information. I'm not going to look at these for now, but let's say that they go here and give themselves 3 more willpower, and so they track it on their board there. And then this player is not there. This player is going to play, let's say up here, and that is the watchtower there. It says for the remainder of the round, all memory card looking effects targeted at you have no effect. And they get to look at 1 card, at one of the show cards. And so they'll pick someone. And they'll take a look at this card. They'll know what that 1 card is. And you start building the information as to how the game scores. Then it comes back to me. I take another action. I'm going to go here, get 2 will points. This player's going to go. They'll go here and get 2 of these. And then so on. This player will go here, get 1 of the dragons. You continue doing this. Once the second round is up, meaning everyone's played, then you can actually play in that space and 1, and so on. When the game's over, you are going to reveal all the cards, and you are going to figure out what happens with the score. Everybody's going to be able to have 1 of these in front of them. It tells you every card, what they do, and as you can see, it's a pretty extensive list. Lots and lots of effects going on, things canceling other things, things doubling up other things, so plenty happening there. But that's pretty much the game. You reveal all the cards at the very end, add up your score, whoever has the most points is the winner. Now, one of the biggest positives I can say here for this game is that it is a unique experience. If someone explains this game to you, a game in which you only know 1/4 of the ways in which you are going to score at the end of the game, and you're going to possibly discover some of those throughout the game, that's intriguing. The worker placement mechanisms in the game are clean, they're clever, they work well. I like how they open up in stages to let you do more and more powerful, interesting stuff in later stages while still giving you the ability to do everything in the previous stages. That's cool. The gameplay itself, though, I found to be very opaque. The game is a hard game to do well in. And I found it to just not be engaging. I felt like I was stumbling around in the dark. Now, I know people will say, well, you're missing the point. It's supposed to be some bluffing. You're supposed to be bluffing the other players by you doing things that make them think are safe, and then, haha, you trick them. Yeah, maybe. I like bluffing games, but I did not get that vibe in this game. I simply felt like I need to take actions to see how to score while gambling and going, well, I'm going to grab some of the stuff and hope it doesn't burn me at the end, because you just cannot look at everything. And that list of cards that you saw is ridiculous. I mean, there is so much stuff on there that it just feels like got burnt, you know. And I didn't really like that. I thought it worked against the spirit of the game, which is that really tight worker placement. I like the idea of secret scoring, but it's too obscured in this game. And discovering that is good for you for the game, but it's not, I didn't find it exciting, the gameplay. I just thought it was just a little machine, and you discover as much as you can, but sometimes you've stepped in it already and you go, well, I want to lose. And you do. And the scores can be extremely swingy sometimes. I mean, ridiculously so. And so I was not really taken with this one. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I like unique Japanese, especially games sometimes. This is not one of them. I thought this was a miss for me. And so if you like the idea of secret scoring combined with worker placement, you might like this, but I really wouldn't recommend it. I think there are better worker placement games that are better. There's better bluffing and secret scoring games out there. And this one kind of falls through the cracks for me. That's Code of 9.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.